Gemini said, "Imagine standing in front of the mirror every morning. You feel like you have tried absolutely everything. You eat less, you move more, you have suffered through miserable diets where the food tasted suspiciously like soggy cardboard. But that stubborn layer of belly fat simply refuses to disappear. It sits there, mocking your best efforts, no matter how meticulously you count your calories or how many grueling miles you run on the treadmill. You might even look around at other people who seem to effortlessly maintain their shape, eating whatever they want, and you cannot help but wonder, what is wrong with you? Why is your body fighting against you so incredibly hard? You wake up feeling heavy, your clothes do not fit the way you want them to, and there is a constant, subtle exhaustion dragging you down throughout the day. The honest truth is, your metabolism right now feels exactly like the engine of an old, rusty tractor on a freezing winter morning. You turn the key, you pump the gas, you try everything you can, but it just will not start. It coughs, it sputters, and it flat out refuses to ignite. That cold, heavy, sluggish feeling is exactly what is happening inside your biological cells at this very moment. The metabolic gears are jammed. The internal friction is simply too high. It is exhausting, it is enough to make you want to pull your hair out, and it is absolutely, heartbreakingly frustrating. Every single day feels like an endless uphill battle, where your own biology has become your worst enemy. For decades, we have all been spoon-fed the exact same lie. The mainstream fitness industry and the popular diet gurus have relentlessly drilled it into our heads that the absolute only way to lose weight is through severe, punishing deprivation. They tell you to just push away the plate, just starve a little more, just endure the terrible hunger. But what if I told you that the solution to your deep-rooted problem does not lie in even more restriction? What if the constant starving is actually the very thing keeping that rusty engine frozen completely shut? Your body is an incredibly smart survival machine. When you starve it, it panics. It perceives a terrifying famine. It holds onto every single ounce of visceral fat for dear life, wrapping it tightly around your midsection to protect your vital organs. You are not just tired. Your body is literally locked in a state of metabolic hibernation, aggressively defending its fat stores against all your desperate attempts to lose weight. Now, take a deep breath and open your mind to a completely different approach. What if there is a single, incredibly powerful, healthy fat that gives your body the perfect balance of nutrients to filter out impurities, completely extinguish chronic inflammation, and massively boost your overall health? I am talking about a natural metabolism switch, a golden key that finally unlocks those stubborn fat cells. This specific substance melts away your visceral belly fat, while effortlessly lowering your blood sugar insulin levels and drastically calming your primary stress hormone, cortisol. When your cortisol levels are constantly spiked from the stress of daily life and frustrating diets, your body remains locked in a high-alert panic mode, making weight loss biologically impossible. This single fat turns that panic switch completely off. Imagine feeling that heavy, inflammatory fog finally lift from your body. Imagine your metabolism waking up from that long, cold winter, shifting away from a stubborn storage mode and turning into a roaring, highly efficient fat-burning furnace. By simply introducing this one specific compound into your daily routine, you can restart that rusty engine. You can extinguish the hidden, smoldering fires of cellular inflammation that are secretly causing your body to hoard belly fat. You can finally break free from the miserable cycle of endless dieting and punishing workouts that only leave you feeling utterly depleted. I know exactly what you are thinking right now. You are rolling your eyes. You are thinking this sounds like exaggerated, ridiculous hype from a cheap late-night television infomercial from the 1990s. It sounds entirely too good to be true. A magic liquid that burns belly fat while you just live your normal life? It sounds absolutely absurd. But here is the most exciting part of all. This is not some magical snake oil. This is not a trendy, fleeting fad diet. This is backed by incredibly robust, peer-reviewed, hard medical science. The clinical studies and scientific literature on this specific topic are absolutely mind-blowing. We are talking about proven, measurable shifts on a cellular level. I have made sure to link all the scientific sources and clinical trials right below this video, so you can read the exact same medical literature that I did and verify the facts for yourself. And the absolute craziest part of this entire discovery, the secret weapon that can completely transform your metabolic health, is not some rare, incredibly expensive supplement that you have to order from a secret laboratory halfway across the world. You do not need a doctor's prescription for it. In fact, there is a very high probability that this miraculous fat-burning catalyst is sitting right inside your kitchen pantry or resting on your countertop at this exact very moment. It is resting there, completely ignored, entirely underestimated, and just waiting for you to unlock its true potential. Chapter Summary. This chapter connects deeply with the viewer's frustration over stubborn belly fat and failed restrictive diets. It explains that the body is trapped in a sluggish hibernation state, like a rusty engine. The narrative then introduces a paradigm shift, promising that a single scientifically proven healthy fat can lower cortisol, reduce insulin, extinguish inflammation, and restart the metabolism. It builds strong anticipation by revealing that this scientifically backed solution is likely already sitting unused in the viewer's kitchen. Gemini said, "Before we finally lift the curtain and I reveal exactly what this mysterious liquid is and how you must properly integrate it into your daily life, we need to talk about the concrete, scientifically proven benefits. You absolutely must understand the invisible war happening inside your body right now before you start using this solution. Let us dive straight into fact number 1. This liquid is a relentless, absolute inflammation killer. Chronic inflammation is your biggest, most silent enemy. It is the root cause of almost every metabolic issue you are facing today. I want you to imagine a chronic inflammation inside your body, like a creeping, destructive rust that spreads completely unseen underneath the shiny paint of a beautiful car. From the outside, the vehicle might still look perfectly fine, but beneath the surface, that rust is slowly eating away at the metal, destroying the integrity of the frame and making the entire chassis weak and brittle. That hidden rust is exactly how millions of people feel as they get a little older. Your joints ache when you step out of bed in the morning. You constantly feel sluggish, drained of ambition, and completely unmotivated. Your body feels overly puffy, almost like a heavy sponge that has soaked up way too much water. That swelling and that exhaustion are the direct results of this internal biological rust. However, a massive, comprehensive review of 23 clinical studies revealed something incredible. This specific compound we are talking about significantly reduces what doctors call C-reactive protein. This is an extremely important inflammation marker found in your blood. In another fascinating clinical trial, daily use of this fat drastically lowered the levels of the most aggressive inflammatory cytokines, specifically interleukin-6 and TNF-alpha. Introducing this liquid into your system is exactly like sending your car to a professional to finally get a deep, protective sealant applied. The destructive rust is stopped in its tracks, allowing your exhausted body to finally breathe, recover, and begin to heal itself. But simply stopping the internal rust does not automatically make your stubborn belly fat melt away, right? That leads us seamlessly to fact number 2, the visceral belly fat melter. This is the absolute game changer, and I strongly believe it is the main reason why you are searching for answers right now. This compound directly burns belly fat, and to be clear, we are not talking about the soft, harmless, subcutaneous fat that you can easily pinch on your arm or your leg. We are talking about the dangerous, toxic, visceral fat that stubbornly wraps itself tightly around your internal organs. It is the hard, protruding belly fat that ruins your health and destroys your confidence. In a highly controlled medical study, tracking participants over 2 full months, the people who consumed this liquid every single day experienced something remarkable. They noticeably lost weight and reduced their waistline by a massive 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters. That is an entire notch down on your leather belt. The fat simply melted away, and they achieved this merely by adding this one specific liquid to their daily routine. They did not suffer through extreme hunger strikes. They did not endure endless, torturous hours, sweating on a treadmill until they looked like an overcooked tomato. It was just a smart, simple adjustment of their daily habits. This healthy fat acts like a gentle but incredibly persistent internal broom, naturally sweeping those toxic fat deposits right out of your system. Chapter Summary. This chapter explains the first two major scientific benefits of the secret healthy fat. First, it acts as a powerful anti-inflammatory agent, comparing chronic inflammation to hidden rust, destroying a car from the inside, while proving its efficacy in lowering markers like C-reactive protein. Second, it highlights the compound's ability to specifically target and melt dangerous visceral belly fat, referencing a study where participants effortlessly lost 3 centimeters off their waistline without extreme diets or cardio. Gemini said, "But how can consuming a fat actually help you burn fat? It sounds completely counterintuitive, almost like trying to put out a roaring fire with gasoline." The answer leads us directly to the absolute master controller of your love handles, and to fact number 3. This miraculous liquid acts as your personal insulin whisperer. You see, lasting weight loss is not just a simple mathematical equation of cutting calories. It is entirely dictated by your hormones. I want you to imagine insulin as an incredibly massive, extremely strict bouncer, standing guard right outside the front doors of an exclusive nightclub. As long as this bouncer is in a terrible, aggressive mood and making his massive presence known, he absolutely refuses to let a single person leave the club. Inside your physical body, this translates to a very harsh and frustrating reality. As long as your blood sugar is constantly spiking from hidden sugars and your insulin levels remain stubbornly high, your fat cells remain tightly locked shut. Your body simply cannot burn fat for fuel. It is biologically impossible. You could literally run on a treadmill for hours, but if the insulin bouncer is angry, the fat stays entirely trapped inside the cell. However, a gigantic meta-analysis from the year 2024, compiling data from dozens of highly respected independent medical studies, found something absolutely incredible. Consuming this specific liquid on a daily basis significantly lowered fasting insulin and massively improved overall insulin sensitivity. In plain, simple English, this means it perfectly calms down the angry bouncer. It keeps your blood sugar beautifully stable, pats the strict bouncer on the back, and tells him to finally take a well-deserved break. Only then do the heavy doors to your fat cells finally swing open. Your body gracefully shifts out of that stubborn, miserable storage mode and finally enters the highly desired, effortless fat-burning mode. But unfortunately, insulin is not the only powerful villain making your weight loss journey so incredibly difficult. There is another extremely sneaky antagonist lurking in the shadows, constantly sabotaging your fat-burning potential, especially in the dark middle of the night. Let us look closely at this culprit with fact number 4. This liquid completely crushes your cortisol. Cortisol is your primary survival and stress hormone. It is designed by nature to save you from immediate physical danger. But in our demanding, modern, fast-paced world, your cortisol levels are constantly elevated for absolutely no physical reason. I want you to imagine cortisol as a loud, incredibly obnoxious internal alarm clock. But this specific clock is completely broken. Instead of gently waking you up at 7 in the morning to start your beautiful day, it suddenly starts ringing shrilly at exactly 3 o'clock in the morning. This completely shatters your sleep architecture. It leaves you staring at the ceiling, ruining your mood and energy for the entire next day. But most importantly, chronically high cortisol is one of the absolute biggest driving factors for accumulating that rock-hard, stubborn, visceral belly fat. Think about how many times you have felt overwhelmed at work, only to notice your waistline expanding, even when you were barely eating. That is cortisol, actively working against you, forcing your body to hoard weight as a protective trauma response. The incredible news is that a remarkable clinical study discovered that just 3 short weeks of daily consumption of this mysterious liquid caused cortisol levels to plummet drastically. By simply lowering this stress hormone, your body stops panicking. Lower cortisol ultimately means your body feels safe enough to release the trapped fat right around your midsection. We have now extinguished the internal fires of inflammation, calmed down the insulin bouncer, and completely silenced the broken cortisol alarm clock. Chapter Summary. This section details how the liquid controls the two major weight loss blocking hormones, insulin and cortisol. It uses the metaphor of an angry bouncer to explain how high insulin locks fat cells, and the metaphor of a broken alarm clock ringing at 3 in the morning to explain how cortisol ruins sleep and stores stress fat. It concludes that lowering both hormones naturally shifts the body into a safe, fat-burning state. We have successfully extinguished the smoldering internal fires of inflammation. We have perfectly calmed down the angry insulin bouncer, and we have finally silenced that broken, obnoxious cortisol alarm clock. But how do we actually press the ultimate start button for active fat burning? The answer lies incredibly deep inside your individual cells, and it brings us to the final, most exciting piece of the puzzle. Fact number 5. This liquid activates a powerful genetic switch. Please do not worry. I am not going to make this overly complicated or bore you with dense medical jargon, but you absolutely need to know about a specific genetic receptor called PPAR-alpha. I want you to imagine that you have a tiny hidden switch located deep inside your biological control room. When this switch is resting at 0, your body is essentially terrified. It acts like it is preparing for a harsh, freezing winter, hoarding every single gram of energy and storing it directly on your belly. But when you finally manage to flip that switch to a 1, a biological miracle happens. Your body immediately stops storing and starts actively pulling energy directly from its emergency reserves. It begins burning your stored visceral fat. This mysterious liquid physically flips that exact genetic switch. It dramatically increases the rate at which you burn fat, and it does this completely autonomously in the background, while you are just living your normal life. Whether you are sitting at your office desk, playing with your children, or fast asleep in your bed, your internal furnace is quietly and efficiently melting away the excess weight. It is exactly what we all desperately want, a metabolism that constantly works for us instead of constantly fighting against us. The anticipation is almost unbearable at this point. We have talked about the undeniable science, the hormones, and the genetic hacks. So let us finally get to the grand, celebratory reveal. What is this absolute miracle liquid that we have been talking about this entire time? What is this liquid gold that is so incredibly well researched by the medical community? What is the secret substance so strongly associated with extreme longevity, especially among the vibrant, healthy populations in the Mediterranean? Think about those incredibly vital, 100-year-old grandfathers who sit relaxed in the Italian piazza, enjoying their beautiful lives with endless energy and without a single ounce of excess belly fat. What is flowing through their veins? We are talking about pure, unrefined, extra virgin olive oil. There it is, the absolute foundational product of the healthiest cuisine on the planet. It is not some dangerous synthetic chemical created in a sterile laboratory. It is not an overpriced weight loss pill that makes your heart race. It is nature's ultimate medicine. It feels almost too incredibly simple, which is exactly why millions of frustrated people completely overlook it every single day. They search endlessly for complex, miserable diets, completely ignoring the liquid gold sitting right inside their own kitchen. Extra virgin olive oil is literally a cellular superfood. When you pour this rich, golden green liquid, you are pouring life-giving, fat-burning power straight into your body. But before you run to your kitchen cabinet, you must listen very closely to what comes next. Because if you use the wrong kind, or if you use it the wrong way, you will completely destroy all of these magical benefits. Gemini said, "Now that you finally know the true identity of this liquid gold, you are probably ready to sprint to your kitchen cabinet or rush to the nearest grocery store. But hold on for just a brief moment, because here is where 99% of well-meaning people make a massive, devastating mistake. If you grab the wrong bottle off the shelf, or if you prepare this oil the wrong way at home, you will completely obliterate every single fat-burning, health-boosting benefit we just talked about. You need a highly specific, scientific battle plan to guarantee your success. Here are the exact 3 steps you must follow starting today. Step number 1. You must become completely obsessed with the quality of your gold. The absolute secret, the non-negotiable factor, lies entirely in 2 simple words: extra virgin. You must only purchase pure, cold-pressed, extra virgin olive oil. When you walk down the supermarket oil aisle, you will see dozens of shiny bottles proudly claiming to be light olive oil or pure refined olive oil. I need you to ignore them completely. Walk right past them. Those labels are clever, misleading marketing traps. Refined oils have been brutally processed with harsh industrial chemicals and extreme heat. That aggressive processing completely strips away the magical oleic acid, the heart-healthy omega-9 fatty acids, and those miraculous fat-burning polyphenols. If the label does not explicitly say extra virgin, do not waste a single penny on it. The pure, unadulterated quality of the oil will determine 100% of your metabolic success. Step number 2. We need to talk about the golden dosage and the absolute rule of replacement. To successfully trigger this cellular transformation, you need to consume 1 to a maximum of 2 tablespoons every single day. But listen to me very carefully, because this is the critical survival rule. You absolutely must use this liquid gold to replace the bad, toxic fats currently hiding in your daily diet. You cannot simply pour 2 tablespoons of olive oil over a massive, unhealthy plate of greasy junk food. If you just add this oil on top of your normal diet without changing anything else, you will instantly create a massive calorie surplus, and you will actually gain weight. Instead, use the simple power of smart substitution. Take that heavily processed, sugar-loaded bottled dressing sitting in your refrigerator door right now and throw it straight into the trash. Replace it with a simple drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. Instead of spreading heavy, saturated animal butter all over your morning toast, gently dip your bread into this vibrant green oil. You are literally swapping metabolic poison for pure cellular medicine. Step number 3. This is exactly where most people completely ruin the magic without even realizing it. You must absolutely consume this oil raw. Never, under any circumstances, pour your beautiful, expensive, extra virgin olive oil into a sizzling hot frying pan to cook your morning eggs or stir-fry your dinner. Exposing this delicate oil to high, aggressive cooking heat will physically incinerate and completely destroy those precious, fragile polyphenol molecules. You are essentially burning away the exact microscopic compounds that lower your cortisol, fix your insulin, and shrink your belly fat. So, how do you actually eat it? You treat it exactly like a luxurious finishing sauce. Steam your healthy green vegetables, place them on your dining plate, and then generously drizzle the raw oil right over the top. Cook your steak or bake your fish to perfection, and right before you take your very first bite, pour a spoonful directly over the warm meat. Let the natural, gentle warmth of the cooked food release the incredible, earthy aroma of the raw oil, without destroying its delicate, fat-burning molecular structure. Gemini said, "Now you possess the exact scientific blueprint to unlock your metabolism. But having the right tool is only half the battle. The other half requires iron discipline and deeply realistic expectations. You must transform consuming this raw, extra virgin olive oil into an absolutely unbreakable daily habit. Treat it exactly like brushing your teeth. It must become a completely non-negotiable part of your everyday routine. When you go out to enjoy a meal at a restaurant, do not be afraid to politely order your fresh salad completely dry, asking the chef to hold their highly processed, sugary house dressings. You can even take it a bold step further and bring a small, elegant bottle of your own liquid gold right to the table with you. Your long-term health and your vibrant energy are infinitely more important than worrying about what a waiter might think of you. However, I need to be completely transparent and honest with you. Your stubborn belly fat did not magically appear overnight after one bad weekend of unhealthy eating. It accumulated slowly over months and years of hidden metabolic stress and hormonal imbalance. Therefore, it is simply not going to completely disappear in 3 short days. You must aggressively abandon the toxic, frustrating mindset of instant gratification. Instead, I want you to deeply channel the quiet, powerful patience of those healthy, vibrant, 100-year-old grandfathers living in rural Italy. They do not stress over miserable, complicated fad diets. They simply nourish their bodies with the right, wholesome elements every single day, year after year. I want you to imagine your incredible body as a beautiful, intricate garden. For years, you might have been unknowingly pouring toxic weed killer all over your delicate flowers in the form of highly processed junk food, artificial seed oils, and refined sugars. Now, you finally have the power and the knowledge to stop that destruction. If you simply stop the toxic input and begin watering your garden with the absolute purest, most natural elements on Earth, your biology has no other choice but to heal. Give it the precious time it truly deserves. Stay consistent, and your body will absolutely bloom with endless energy, a glowing appearance, and profound metabolic health. Before you go, I have a very important question for you. Are you already using this incredible liquid gold in your daily life? Or are you just now discovering its true fat-burning power? Let me know right down in the comments below. I would absolutely love to read your personal stories and answer your questions. And if you are truly serious about completely transforming your metabolism, you absolutely cannot miss my next video, where I will reveal 10 delicious everyday foods that literally force your body to burn stored visceral fat, whether it wants to or not. Click the video on your screen right now. Stay strong, stay healthy, and I will see you there.